So if you turn on the evening news on pretty much any given night, there's a really high chance you're going to see it. An accident. It's the heartbreaking reality that someone simply did not make it home. I know it's heavy, but it's absolutely crucial to understanding our focus for this explainer today. Because the road, it isn't just a stretch of asphalt. It's actually a mirror, reflecting exactly who we are as a society.
And that reality forces us to stop and sit with a really uncomfortable truth. Our collective numbness to this ongoing disaster means something is deeply, profoundly wrong. Think about it. When we hear about a wreck on the highway, we kind of just shake our heads and move right on to the next story, right? It's not just bad luck, it's not just bad roads, it's a fundamental breakdown in how we view our responsibility to one another.
So, the absolute core point we are unpacking today is this. Driving is a discipline, not a disaster. And getting back to that point of discipline requires us to really interrogate our own behaviors behind the wheel. We have to shift our entire mindset, moving away from seeing the road as this chaotic free-for-all and start treating it as a shared space that demands structured, intentional, and respectful behavior.
Which brings us to a rather awkward question. I want you to really think about this one honestly. Beyond just holding that little piece of plastic in our wallets, are we actually qualified to drive? I don't mean on paper. I mean, do we truly understand what it means to hurl a high-speed metal box down a road alongside other human beings? Other people who, have places to be and families anxiously waiting for them to walk through the front door.
Because when you look at how some of us behave out there on the streets, it honestly doesn't look like understanding at all. Instead, it looks exactly like permission without preparation. We've been handed the legal right to operate a vehicle, sure, but we haven't mentally prepared ourselves for the heavy social and moral responsibilities that come with that right. We end up treating the license as a free pass to just do whatever we want, rather than a solemn agreement to protect each other.
And that raises another tough question, one that points the finger right back at all of us, myself included. Have we become a nation of pure selfishness on the road? If you strip away the traffic laws and the painted lane lines, what is the actual underlying culture driving our decisions? Is it a sense of shared community, or is it just pure, unadulterated self-interest?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. How many times have you seen someone just stop dead in the middle of a busy lane, flip on their hazard lights like it's a magic park anywhere button, and run into a shop for 2 minutes? Or the guy taking up 2 entire parking spaces just to save 10 seconds of effort? The singular message broadcasting underneath all of these choices is exactly the same. Only my time matters. My convenience is the only thing that counts, and whatever happens to you because of my choice, totally not my problem.
And then there's the third question, which honestly might be the most bothersome piece of the puzzle. Where has our patience gone? It seriously seems to have just evaporated entirely from our collective driving culture. We see this vividly every single day. The speed limit says 40, someone is actually driving 40, and within seconds, someone is laying on the horn. Then they decide to overtake on a blind curve, literally risking multiple lives, just to gain, 4 unnecessary seconds? It's wild. And it's not because we have somewhere incredibly urgent to be. It's because the very act of waiting, even for a few brief seconds, has become completely unbearable to us.
So, qualification, selfishness, impatience. When we combine these 3 elements, a really clear picture starts to emerge. We start to realize that the issue we're dealing with here isn't actually about driving at all. The cars, the roads, those are just the symptoms.
And here is the big psychological pivot. The road isn't just a place of traffic. It acts as a massive pressure valve for all of our underlying societal stress. What we are looking at is not a traffic problem. It is a deeply rooted psychological problem. And honestly, deep down, I think most of us already know this is true.
Think about the society we're navigating every day. We're carrying all this unprocessed stress from work. We have heavy pressures from home. We operate in a world with strict rules dictating that we have to stay polite, stay quiet, keep it together. But the moment we get inside our car, well, it becomes a private zone with no close personal judgment. Nobody's watching closely enough to hold us personally accountable. So all that repressed frustration just pours out. The horn becomes our voice, and a reckless overtake becomes our way of proving we still have some shred of control over our lives.
You can really see how this societal shift has compounded over time when you compare 2 very different eras. There was a time, and it wasn't even that long ago, when driving was this respected, highly skilled profession. People used the word sir when speaking to a driver. It required serious discipline and care. But look at the modern reality we've devolved into.
Today, especially when we look at public transport, driving is associated with aggression. It's reckless. It's completely dismissive of anyone who isn't also sitting behind a wheel.
Now, does it really matter which caused which? Did losing respect cause the bad behavior, or did bad behavior destroy the respect? It's a classic chicken and egg scenario. But the undeniable result is that the respect vanished and the behavior took a nosedive right along with it. We're now living day-to-day inside an environment where reaching the destination is literally the only thing that matters, completely at the expense of basic human decency.
And that brings us to the tragic consequence. People aren't failing to make it home to their families because the roads suddenly changed overnight. It's because we as a collective society normalized highly dangerous, abnormal behavior on a massive scale. We just kept accepting the unacceptable until it morphed into our daily routine.
So the absolute crucial takeaway of this entire explainer comes down to this redefinition. True discipline isn't just about following traffic laws because a police officer is watching in your rearview mirror. True discipline is the radical act of choosing to be normal, patient, and considerate when absolutely no one is forcing you to be decent. In a culture where chaos is the baseline, simply being a considerate driver is practically a rebellious act.
Look, I know we can't magically fix an entire country's driving culture by tomorrow morning. That's just not realistic, but you can take these exact steps the next time you're behind the wheel, and it starts entirely with you. Treat driving as a personal character test. Take a breath and just wait those extra 10 seconds. Park your car properly inside the lines, even if it takes a little extra effort. Let that person merge in front of you instead of speeding up to block them out. Empower yourself to prove who you are when nobody is forcing you to be decent.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The road is not just asphalt and lane markings. It is a mirror reflecting our patience, our empathy, and our discipline. So the next time you put your hands on that steering wheel, ask yourself, what is it showing you? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it changes the way you look at your next commute. Stay safe out there.